Hi, I'm Diane Cornegie, and I am the very proud superintendent of Lake County Schools, and I am really excited to share with you my favorite Christmas story. The title of this book is Silver Packages, and the author is Cynthia Rylant. So sit back and enjoy as I share with you my favorite Christmas story, Silver Packages. A train comes through Appalachia every year at Christmas time. And though it doesn't have antlers, nor does the man standing on its rear platform have a long white beard, it may as well be Santa Claus and his sleigh for all the excitement it stirs up. People call it the Christmas train, and it has been coming to them for years. Each new child born in the mountains learns to walk, talk, and wait for the Christmas train. It is everyone's delight. The older people remember its beginning. They tell of a rich man who had come traveling through the hills by car many years back. No one knows why he came up into the hills, but why isn't important. What matters is what happened. The man had a car accident. His car just took itself right off of the side of the ridge, and the man slumped in that car, hurting and scared. But someone came along. Some say it was old Mr. Cruikshank, but others say it was Betty Britt. But who came along isn't important either. Whoever it was pulled that rich man out of his car and took him to a house in the hills where he was nursed and cared for until he could make it out on his own. When he left, the rich man tried to give money to the people who had helped him, but they would not accept his money. So the rich man left the mountains feeling he owed a great debt. And for the remaining years of his life, he has been repaying his debt from the caboose of a Christmas train where he brings into the hills each December. On the 23rd, everybody knows it, the train will slowly wind up and around the mountains, and on the platform of its caboose will stand the rich man in a wool coat. He will toss a sparkling silver package into the hands of each child who waits beside the tracks, and for some, it will be the only present they received. So the train is awfully important. One year, a boy named Frankie stands beside the tracks and waits for the Christmas train. It is very cold and there is lots of snow. Frankie's shoes are thin and his feet hurt badly from the cold, but he is determined to wait, even if his feet and all the rest of him become ice. Now this particular boy wants a particular present. Not just any present tossed from the back of that train, a particular present. He wants a doctor's kit. He's been waiting for it beside the track. The train comes through finally, noisy and steaming and scary. It is so big, but everyone loves to see it, and they cheer and clap, and some of the mothers even weep to see it coming. Frankie stands there at the tracks praying for that doctor's kit till he sees the caboose slowly coming up. And when it is just past his nose, he shouts and waves and runs after the Christmas train, his icy feet aching. From the rear platform, the rich man in the wool coat sees him. "Merry Christmas," he calls, and he tosses into Frankie's hands a sparkling silver package. Frankie stops running. He is out of breath, so he can't yell a thank you. He can only hold tight to the gift and wave to the man as the train disappears into the mountains. Frankie carries his package home, and he puts his name on it and sets it under the family Christmas tree. On Christmas morning, he opens it. It isn't a doctor's kit. It's a cowboy holster set and 3 pairs of thick red socks. Frankie looks at his mother and father and brothers and sisters, and he tries not to cry. Frankie wears the socks all winter, and he plays with the cowboy set all year, but he still dreams of that doctor's kit. The next Christmas, Frankie waits again in the cold for the Christmas train. The socks still fit him, so his feet are warm, but his fingers are cold and hurting. He waits on the tracks, and he's still praying for that doctor's kit. The train comes, and the rich man tosses that silver package. And on Christmas morning, Frankie opens it. No. It's a little police car with lights that really work, plus 2 pairs of brown mittens. Frankie doesn't cry. He wears the mittens all winter, and he plays with the car all year, but he's still dreaming of a doctor's kit. Frankie waits 3 more years for a doctor's kit, but it never comes. He gets trucks and balls and games. He gets mittens and socks and hats and scarves. But the doctor kit, it never came. So when Frankie grows up, he moves away out of the hills. He lives in a different place, and he meets different kinds of people, and he himself changes a little into a different kind of person. But deep in him, never changing, are his memories. And what he remembers most about being a boy in the hills is that just when it seemed his feet would freeze from the snow, a man in a train had brought socks. And just when it seemed his fingers were hardening to ice, the man brought him mittens. Just when the cold wind was cutting sharp as a blade into his throat, the man brought him a scarf. And just when Frankie's ears were numb with red cold, the man had brought him a hat. And Frankie remembers something about owing a debt. So Frankie, now a grown man, has been gone a long time, but he moves back into the hills where he used to live. His brothers and sisters are still there, and they're waiting for him. He returns to the hills where he had grown up, and that winter near Christmas, he stands at the tracks, watching the children wait for the train. And it comes, as it always did. The grown man watches the steam engine move toward him. He watches the caboose roll by him, and he nearly runs after that train, so strong are his memories. This grown man, Frankie, nearly runs after a silver package. But instead, he watches a little girl chase that caboose. He watches a man in a wool coat toss her a sparkling silver package, watches the gift land near the little girl's feet, watches her running as fast as she can, but she trips and falls near the silver package. The grown man, he does run now, but not for a train, and not for a rich man in a wool suit. He runs for a little girl who's fallen and hurt. And he picks her up, and he wipes away her tears and the scar from around her neck, and he smiles at her. "It's okay, little one," he says. The train is disappearing into the trees. He had meant to wave to the rich man, but there wasn't time. He picks up her silver package, and he puts it into the little girl's arms. "You'll be all right," he tells her. "I'll make sure." And he pulls open his kit to look for a Band-Aid. "My name's Frankie," he smiles, "and I'm a doctor." I really like this story because for me, the main idea of this story is that sometimes you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. When Frankie's hands were cold, he got mittens, and when his feet were cold, he got socks. And when he grew up, he got his own doctor's kit because he never stopped believing in his dreams. I hope that you all have a wonderful holiday. I hope you've enjoyed my story, Silver Packages, and I hope that even if you don't get what you want this year, that you get what you need.